Welcome back to Split the Party. Like I told you last week, today we are talking about Don't Turn Your Back, and specifically I'm going to show you what the locations do on the board and explain those. I'm not going to go through a full playthrough of the game, but the explanation of the location. So we start with the City Slumbering. That's actually a really easy one. As you're going through your turns, your playing cards, the first thing that you will encounter is that you play things in the Bazaar. Those are fairly self-explanatory. They will tell you what to do. And it'll say Bazaar Service on the bottom. Then, after everyone has played their cards, or they've chosen not to play cards, we've got all the cards on the table that we're going to be using. First, we resolve the City Slumbering. For every pain value, and real quick we can do a breakdown of a card here. The pain value is in the top left corner. The cost for the card, which you'll pay with your currency, is in the top right. Along the bottom left, you'll see the locations it can be played in. So District 13, the Wax Kingdom, or the Bazaar. On the bottom right, you'll see the Clockwork Lieutenant is the name of this card, and then the Bazaar Service will be in the middle there. So pain value is your number of effect for most of these locations here. So for every pain value of cards that you have in the City Slumbering, for instance, if this person had these two cards up there, they would, when we get to this phase, have 4 total currency to spend on more nightmares to buy into their deck. You're going to have, from your acquisition deck here, 6 cards on the side that are always available there. As you buy one, you'll flip out another one. So you always have 6 available, and you buy from those and put them in the discard of your favorite deck. That's actually what you play with. After we've resolved the City Slumbering, we move on to the High School. Now, the High School is probably the most complicated to figure out each turn, or it's where people get tripped up the most easily. You go through and you count for each player who has how much pain value. So we've got 3 here, we've got 3 here, and then 2 and 1 for these 2 players. Ties are broken based on who is closest to the start space. So that's going to be this player here. So they will actually gain full value of their pain in candles. So they're going to get 3 candles. Everyone else gets 1 pain for each card that they have there, not each pain. So these people are each going to get 1, and Orange is going to actually gain 2 because he has 2 cards. Now, at the end of the round, after you've gone through and done everything else during your cleanup phase, you're going to remove cards from the High School. Normally, all of your cards you've played come back to you, unless they're in the Wax Kingdom, in which case they get encased, or in the High School. Some of them end up stuck. So you go through and you figure out how many cards the winner of this round in the High School played. He played 2 cards. 2 cards are going to be removed starting at the starting space and put back in their player's discard pile. So he actually gets his cards back. Everybody else is riding for another turn. So you'll see that strategy-wise, you may actually want to place your cards later in this game on the High School, because then they're going to ride for a while. Even if they only get you a couple of candles, they're going to keep getting you those candles every turn until they go away. Then we come to District 13. District 13 I like a lot. It scores based on the laws. Now, laws are a couple of things. 1, they help you figure out how to score the District 13. 2, they're also your timer. So you're going to start with the first admonishment, and then you're going to have a number of other laws that'll go afterwards. You flip up a new law each time. And they each have different rules that apply to this specific location as to how to score it. Sometimes you're gaining candles, sometimes people are losing candles, sometimes you're getting free cards. For the first admonishment, it's always 6 candles to first place. If there's a tie for first place, all the tied players get 4, and then everyone else who played there gets 3. In this case, we've got a clear leader. Green has 3, and these each have 1, so he is going to get the 6 candles, putting him up to 9. And then these 2 will each score 3, putting them up to 4. Orange didn't actually manage to get on there. You will notice that each of these has a finite amount of spaces. So if you can't get on the board in those spaces, you're just going to have to play District 13 next turn. I guess this particular turn you didn't get to go there. After you've done these 2, you go on to the cleanup phase, where you pull things from the High School the way I showed you. Everything else from the City Slumbering, the Bazaar, and District 13 goes back to the appropriate players. And then the Wax Kingdom, anything that's been played here, goes face down into the encased pile and stays there until the end of the game. Now, at the end of the game, you're going to count up the pain value for each of the 4 players in the encased pile. Whoever has the most pain will get 1 candle for each cost of cards in their deck. Whoever has the second most gets 1 pane for each pane total in their deck. Third place gets 2 candles for each card in their deck, and fourth place gets 1 candle for each card in your deck. Now you do remove all your starting cards there, which is good because otherwise it would give some of these people an advantage over first place. But you can see there can be a lot of bonus points here. I've gotten 30, 40 some bonus points off of that alone. So you definitely don't want to ignore it, but you also don't want to just keep encasing everything, hoping that you can make enough points on that to win at the end without, and ignore the high school in District 13. It's nice as a worker placement game. You are weighing your options and making sure that you're sort of focusing on a couple of things, but not ignoring anything if you can avoid it. As a deck builder, you're focusing on picking up the cards that, okay, I've been having a hard time getting things in the high school. So I'm going to look over here and I'm going to need to buy cards that have the high school symbol on them so that I can play them there because I need to get those points. So you are focusing on, this is what I need to pick up to improve my deck. I'm going to pick up these things. This is where I need to place so that I can get those things. It plays back and forth between the deck building and the worker placement mechanic very well. I know I said this last time. I really, really love this game. I'm looking forward to expansions, and I hope you guys pick it up, and I hope you enjoy it. But that's about all the time I've got for today, so we're going to thank our sponsors, SoundG Entertainment, Excelsior Games and Comics, and Duo Bus Design, and as always, I'll see you in the Nerdverse.